The eCom Q4 Summit was created to prove that any seller can experience a highly profitable fourth quarter with access to the right tips, strategies, and techniques. There's no need to struggle trying to figure out what to sell, where to find it, or how much to list it for. The summit covers everything from sourcing to listing to marketing and streamlining your operations. It doesn't matter if you're selling on one platform or multiple platforms like Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Walmart. And it doesn't matter if you're a new seller or an experienced seller. The information in the summit will help you get sale after sale after sale after sale during the busiest shopping season of the year, if you take massive action. So welcome to the eCom Q4 Summit.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm so excited to talk to you about PPC and your rising PPC costs, especially during this Q4 period where pay-per-click costs are going to be even higher than they normally are. So let's get into it, shall we? All right, let's talk about managing your rising PPC costs during Q4 of 2021. I'm Amy Weiss from AmazingAtHome.com. All right, our agenda today, we're going to talk first about the rules of overall managing your advertising and advertising costs. And then secondly, we're going to talk about the top 5 reasons that your ACoS is too high. So let's get into the rules. Before I talk about those top 5 reasons your ACoS is too high, let's talk about just general rules for making more sales, for keeping your PPC costs low. The number 1 rule here is to know your product and know how the customer searches for the product. In my program, I call these your page ones. Know the page ones that are most relevant, those medium to long tail keywords that are most relevant for the customer to find your product and choose it. So when you have an idea of what your medium to long tail, very relevant keywords are, you can then optimize your listings for those keywords. You can then check your placement on the page for both your organic placement and your PPC advertisements. Really, if you stay laser focused on those page ones and you look at how you look up against your competition on the page, you're going to do very, very well. The second thing, the rule number 2, is that keywords are expensive. You really need to look at your offer. You need an offer that converts and a strategy to get in front of the right customer with the right advertisements. So what am I talking about here? As I mentioned on your page ones, those page ones that you want to be on, you really want to stand out amongst the competition. So if you're selling, you're going to be selling a very similar product as everybody else is on that page. So how are you standing out? Do you have good reviews? What's your pricing like? What does your main photo look like? Do you have the right keywords in your listing to be the most relevant result when you run that PPC advertisement? Because PPC, your bid placement, your advertising placement goes off of not just how high you bid on that keyword, but also how relevant your product is to that keyword that you're bidding on. So you really want to make sure that not only is your listing super relevant for those page ones that we talked about in rule number 1, but also that your offer stands out. And if you're going to pay for those clicks, that they're going to convert into sales. So really take an objective look at your listing, especially before Q4. Think about what people are shopping for during Q4, where their mindset is at, and make sure that your listing aligns with that. Maybe you want to set up some tiered promotions so you can cross-sell different products. There's lots of different things that you can do, but really look at your offer and look at your page ones and stay laser focused with your advertising on those 2 rules. All right, now let's get into the 5 reasons that your ACoS is too high. The first reason is because you don't have an advertising strategy. You maybe just set up a whole bunch of campaigns and you're not really sure what's going on and they're just spending and you're trying to optimize them, but you don't really have an overall goal in mind. So you always want to start with your end in mind. Think about your goal. Do you want to rank for certain keywords? Do you want to make more sales? Do you want to profit? Maybe you need to kind of lower some of your your pricing and work on your organic placement, right? But the bottom line is you need to have a goal and develop a strategy to reach it. If you know that you convert really, really well for a specific keyword, I want you to really look at the real estate on the page for that keyword, those page ones that we talked about. And I want you to think about ad placements that could be really great there. Do you want to be at top of search? Do you want to have a video ad in the middle of the page? Do you want to do a headline search ad? Would you like to do product targeting for every product that shows up on that page? Do you want to be inside their their buy box with display ads? Or do you want to do product targeting ads where you show up right underneath their product on the page? Really think about your ad placement and your goal in mind, right? So if you're going to do a relaunch, for example, maybe you ran out of stock and you're going to do a relaunch. You got to revisit the rules, right? What is your page one that you want to get back on after that relaunch? Is your offer still good? And what's your plan to get back to that page one? So always think about your goal, start with the end in mind, and develop your ad strategy to match. The same ad strategy that you used at launch time is not necessarily going to work for other goals. So you really need to think about your placement, your goal, and how those things align. Take the time to really plan and then look at your campaigns and see if they're in line with your goal. The second reason that your ACoS is too high is because you're not optimizing your campaigns. I see people come to me all the time and they'll say, I'm just spending way too much money on advertising, Amy. I'm not really sure what to do. And so many people just turn off keywords instead of actually optimizing them, or they'll turn off entire campaigns because they say, oh my gosh, I spent so much money and I just can't get it back, right? So you really just need to optimize your campaigns. Think of all that great data that you got. Look at the keywords that are doing well. So how are some basics? I'm going to give you some basic rules for campaign optimization. Number one, pull up your campaigns and sort by spend. Look at what keywords are running away with your budget and lower them a little bit at a time. Next, don't turn them off. So many people turn them off, and then your ad isn't showing at all. You have to think about how customers shop, right? If you just turn off all your keywords and turn off all your ads, that's not going to do it for you. I want you to optimize, lower them a little bit at a time, and make sure that you're not making decisions based off of just one click, right? So secondly, sort by ACoS. What keywords need more money on them and which should be reduced? If you have a 1 or 2 or 3 or 7% ACoS on a keyword and you're getting sales, why not check your placement on that keyword and see where your ad is showing up? And if it's not awesome placement and you're already making sales, why not try raising that bid and see if you can't maximize that ACoS even more and get even more conversions from that, right? So if you have a super low ACoS, check your placement. If you have a super high ACoS, lower your bid. And sometimes I also check my placement. If I check my placement and I'm at the top of the page for that keyword and it's really, really an expensive conversion, then I'll take a look at it and say, all right, I'm at top of search for this keyword. Why am I not converting? And then I go back to my rules and I look at my offer and I make sure that my offer is good. All right, the third thing is consider your placement and relevancy when adjusting your bids. So as I mentioned, if I'm at the top of the page and I'm not converting, I'm going to check my offer out before, and I'm going to look at that keyword too and make sure that it's super relevant, right? And then lastly, optimize your listings for relevancy. We talked about that in a few slides ago. We talked about optimizing your listings for relevancy. So you really want to get after that and make sure you're super relevant for your keywords because that's going to improve your placement. All right, number 3 reason is that you are not using the correct targeting techniques in your ads. So you're either too narrow, too broad, or you have too many keywords in a campaign. So for example, maybe you're only targeting exact matches. I see this all the time. So if you're only targeting exact matches, that means your ads are only showing up for that exact keyword. So if a customer types in, let's say you're targeting blue water bottle exact match, and the customer types in water bottle blue, well, your ad isn't showing up. So if I'm your competitor and I cast a wider net and use other match types, I'm going to be able to capture all those pages and all those searches that you're not showing up for. So just be really careful about only using exact matches. I'm seeing a lot of people doing this and they're really missing out. And many times a phrase match or even a broad match will convert better and at a lower cost than an exact match. So definitely look at your techniques there. And then not using product targeting. If you have a really competitive product, especially, you want to use product targeting. You want to target either substitute products or complementary products so that you can make more sales. Product targeting is great because your listing doesn't necessarily need to be relevant, right? So if I'm selling water bottles for bikes and I really want to sell to people who are buying a certain bike that my water bottle fits, I can use product targeting to get in front of that audience. I can target that bike instead of having to worry about optimizing my listing for the bike, right? So product targeting is a really great technique to use. Definitely dig into it if you haven't used it yet. Not using registered brand ads would be the next thing. I see so many people that are registered brands and they don't use any of the registered brand ad types. I mean, these are video ads. These are your headline search ads. You can use display ads and get in your competitor's buy box area. Like, why wouldn't you be using these? Because they're much lower costs because there's not as many people bidding on those inside of those ad campaigns, and you can definitely convert at a much higher rate because you get better placement with registered brand ads. So make sure you're taking advantage of those. The last thing I want to point out here is using too many keywords in a single campaign. Have you ever noticed how you'll be running out of budget, but half of your keywords aren't even getting impressions? Make sure that if that's happening, that you're using a smaller amount of keywords in each campaign so that your budget has a chance to spread across multiple keywords. Instead of the most relevant keyword getting all the impressions and then the rest of your campaigns not going anywhere. All right, the number 4 reason your ACoS is too high is your campaign organization. If you're disorganized, it's really, really hard to manage your campaigns. So do you have too many campaigns and no campaign organization? Utilize your portfolios within your campaign manager. Maybe you're not tracking changes between your optimization sessions. So maybe you just optimized that bid 2 weeks ago, but you're not checking things enough, or you didn't really track what you did last time, and now you're optimizing it again, thinking, oh my gosh, that's overspending, right? So really, I love to take little screenshots. For the first couple of weeks that I'm optimizing a campaign, I'll take little screenshots. I use a tool called Greenshot. And I'll look at, okay, this campaign's doing this is what's happening, and these are the changes that I made. And then once I get in the habit of it, then I know what I'm doing with that campaign and what I'm tracking, and it's much easier. But in the beginning, I definitely track all my changes so that as I go back through and optimize the campaign again, it's very easy to check on those things. The other thing is not using your search term reports or tracking performance between your campaigns. So a lot of people have so many campaigns and they have the same keywords in multiple campaigns, but they don't understand whether, for example, phrase match is converting better in this campaign versus exact match in this campaign, because they're not looking at the data across all their campaigns. So make sure that you're either downloading your search term reports and using those Excel filters to look across your campaigns and see what's performing where, and then managing your budget. Running out of budget is a problem. If you need to spend more, if you're converting well and your ACoS is at a reasonable level, you need to make sure that you increase your budget on those campaigns. So don't run out of budget when you first start your campaigns. And that comes with, making sure that you're not putting too many keywords in a single campaign, that you know what your budget is. You can utilize budget caps. If you're budgeting out very quickly, you can use budget caps across all of your campaigns and your campaign settings. There's a lot of different things that you could do, but make sure that you're managing your budget appropriately. And then finally, blindly using software. There's nothing wrong with using software, but so many people blindly use software. And the problem with software is that it just kind of corrects everything to one standard, and it doesn't look at what your goal was for that campaign or how relevant that keyword is to your listing. It's just kind of like, oh, nope, go ahead and, so you might be missing a lot of opportunities. What I like to do is use software, but also do some manual spot checking so that I really can see what's going on between my campaigns and my goals. All right, the last reason that your ACoS is too high is that you do not have an external traffic strategy. So ads off of Amazon are generally cheaper and also help you rank. As I mentioned earlier, the average cost per click on Amazon continues to rise. It's over $1 now. So if you don't have any type of external traffic strategy, you're really going to end up spending even more, because when you're running external traffic to Amazon, Amazon's algorithm really loves it and it'll rank your product because they feel like, hey, you're sending traffic to Amazon. So if you're only using on Amazon PPC, you're missing out. 60% of external traffic off of Amazon comes from search. So 89%, I think, of search is owned by Google. So if you're not doing anything on Google, if your ads and your listings aren't optimized for Google, if you're not running any type of Google ads, nothing like that, if you're not doing any blogs or anything where your website or your product is ranking or has backlinks that break across Google, you're missing out on a ton of people who are going to Google looking for products like yours. We do Google ads and we love it. It really does well for our products. Organic social media posts. Even if you don't want to pay for Facebook ads, you have so much organic opportunity across YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram. Get out there and put some posts out there on social media that are leading back to your product, to your brand. Really get the word out there, and that's going to help you with external traffic. Using referral sites like coupons, deal news, coupon sites, rebate sites. Those are also a really great way to keep external traffic going to your listing. Deal news, for example, is one of the highest refers to Amazon. So you can set up an ad right there and bring attention. If you're running a Q4 deal, you can bring attention to your ad, right? So check that out. And then don't forget about media opportunities and backlinks. So there's a lot of media outlets. You can do press releases, tons of stuff where you can get your products on top 10 lists, everything like that. And that is going to bring you that traffic for a long, long time. So check out some different external traffic channels. You don't have to do all of them at once. Add one every quarter or something and just kind of work on it. And before you know it, you're going to have quite a bit of a really great web footprint. All right. So that's really all I have for you. I hope that this has been super, super helpful for you and that you can use some of these techniques to get a handle on your PPC costs and really master your sales during Q4. And if you need any help with your strategy, you can always book a call with me at amazingathome.com/coach. Thank you so much.